Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Hot Off the Press. Hey, I'm Randy the news guy. And hey, thanks for joining us today. Truly appreciate it. And just want to remind you, like, share, subscribe, all of that fun stuff. Be sure that you get hooked up with any of our notifications, things like that. Videos that we've got coming out, new stuff, all of that stuff. Also, hey, I'm going to preface this right now is that next Tuesday, I am doing kind of a Black Friday deals review and reveal. So be on the show here next Tuesday at 10 a.m. Eastern. Black Friday deals, Black Friday reviews, Black Friday reveal. It's going to be good. All right. Today, we really are in for a treat. I got to, and I think it was the first time actually that I got to see James present. And this was at Legit Live about a month or two ago. And this guy presented some stuff that I thought was just brilliant, great content. And I just was like, I got to get this guy on the show. He's fabulous. I don't know. He has like 30 years plus. I don't even know. We'll get into his background, but in technical software and systems, has been doing SEO forever. And this guy's like can get down in the weeds with the best of them and help you do whatever you need with your system as well. Developed a great platform. We'll get into all of this stuff. So without further ado, I'm going to bring on the man, the myth. He is the legend, James Slattery. James, my man, how are you, brother?
Good. What's happening?
All right. I dig that you are on the show. Before we get in too deep, I'm going to, hopefully, I won't embarrass you, but I will tell you, I watch your videos from time to time as well. And I watched one you just put out recently because I'm using it. And I thought, well, I want to hear what James has got to say about SEOneo, right? But when I turned this video on, you were like I think you're the only guy that I know that actually has his own theme song. I got to play this thing. This is
25 years in the game, for warrior seeking high acclaim. From dawn to dusk he weaves his spell, making sure their stories sell. He's the wizard of the wood tonight, lighting up the legal sites light, turning clients into kings. James makes those phones ring.
Hey SEO friends, James Slattery here. Today we have a zinger.
That is so awesome. I love that. I'm like, what? I don't know when you put that into place. I just noticed it on this SEOneo video, and I'm like, man, that is hot. That I gotta tell you, you're kicking ass with that. That is good. Yeah, man, you're the man.
Well, that's real simple. Number one, that's from SEONeo.
Yeah.
SEONeo.com, and it works really well. My picture's getting fuzzy. I don't know why. But all right. So yeah, we do a lot of silly stuff like that. In fact, in that video, you'll note that when I tell people when they use an automatic link building tool like SEOneo, you're putting pages out on the web.
Yeah.
You really got to dress them up so that they're worth clicking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And a video with a song like that, in my opinion, worth clicking. You dress up the graphics, you dress up the audio, and now it's worth clicking because you run a tool like that and it puts, a bunch of links out on the internet. You need people to click them. It does help. So yeah, we're big into silly stuff like that.
I thought that was just so cool. And with the graphics, you nailed it, man. That was what. So you said you used the SEOneo.com. I've not used SEOneo before. I'm going to play around with it.
Oh, you got to follow my channel more closely.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow. There's so much stuff out there. I do watch some of your videos though. That's why I came across the SEONeo one. I'm like, dude, look at this guy doing some stuff. That was awesome. So here's James's YouTube channel, folks, up here in the chat. Go check that out. It's got good stuff on there. And then here's the thing that he had mentioned where he did the song, SEONeo.com. I might have my team put together a jingle for me.
It's really good, especially for local SEO. I
Yeah.
mean, you tell it, write a catchy pop song for Randy, the news guy who does
Yeah.
press releases, and he's an
Yeah.
SEO speaker. Bang! 1 minute later, you have a song. And the wild thing is, they allow you to export the MP3 immediately, no watermarking anything, for free.
Yeah.
You get 10 free generations a day, and when you go to export it or download it, they have a video, and it's like a cell phone size, like a mobile size screen, and it's the song with video in the background with the text, and it follows along with the text, and that's immediately downloadable, and you get 10 of those a day for free.
Nice. Well, that's over at SEONeo.com. All right. I love it. All right. Well, let's say hi to a few people. Got Rabi. Man, he was on the show, I don't know, a few weeks ago as well. I love Rabi. He's got great stuff going on.
Sharp guy.
Pamela, very sharp guy. Pamela, hey, man. Good to see you, Pamela. Thanks for jumping on with us. Levy Lee, good morning. Yeah, my man. Good to see you. All right.
Sharp guy.
Yeah. So, when I was kind of beginning to write out the promo for the show and stuff a couple of days ago, I was like, I was so impressed really with your background. And I mean, you've got a high technical background in machines and systems and being able to repair stuff. I mean, you are what would you call computer engineering beyond just
So I own two businesses.
Yeah.
They're basically on some levels blended into one, especially client pool. But basically, we have an IT company that provides desktop support to a whole bunch of law firms, construction companies, and medical offices in our area. And then as the internet, that's been around for 32 years. I started that when I was in college. And then as the internet got more impactful and everybody was using it for advertising, people were asking me how to use it for advertising. And I started using it for myself, obviously, as my own first client. And then, they said, oh, can you do the stuff that, you did for yourself for us?
Right.
And, at the time I had a whole bunch of real estate clients who were also part of the mix. So I had a lot of experience with real estate, but in general, it was construction, medical, and legal. And the legal is really good, obviously, for SEO. We convert clients over from IT to SEO, pretty frequently. I wouldn't even say that we've even worked through our own client base to convert everybody over. It takes time and effort. But yeah, I mean, but if a client has trusted you for 32 years with their IT infrastructure, and some of my clients, they call us for everything. The electricity goes out in their building, they call us. Obviously, that's going to be a pretty easy client to convert over to another service if you believe in it and you can prove to the client that, it's not a cash grab. We've actually gotten really good at SEO. Crazy, right? But
well, it's a great marriage of services that you can provide, right? I think that was brilliant to be able to there are very few people that could probably do that because you would need your technical engineered systems engineer kind of skill set to be able to do that. But I think it's a good it's a good transition over into extending services. So
it works out really well because the IT business has a full-time PHP coder. So
Yeah.
obviously you can imagine how nice that is to have,
Yeah.
on staff. And,
Yeah.
we need something written. We need a script written, a bot written. Although I do a lot of the bots now. We're very big into automating things. We use Make. We use Zero Work a lot. Have you messed around with Zero Work at all?
I have not. I'm actually have been playing. I can't even think of the name of it. I gotta pull it up and go. What the hell is Langflow and Langchain? Have you played with those?
No, those are new ones to me.
Yeah. So, and that's really about creating full-on bots and doing.
Zero Work. You might be pretty happy with if you mess around with it.
Yeah, Zero
Your
Work.
your line of work, I bet you do a lot of nice automations. Yeah,
Yeah.
because Zero Work is basically, it's like automating stuff that comes off of a spreadsheet, like a Google sheet.
Right.
So and it also has the component of being able to interface with OpenAI. So you have ChatGPT.
Right.
So anything that you would have on a sheet that you wanted to do, if you wanted to visit the pages and check something, if you
Right.
just wanted to visit the pages, if you wanted to post something at certain pages, you just have the line up there, and it has things built in that are really neat.
Wow.
A bunch of us were messing around with it at Myrtle Beach. Yeah, it's
I'm checking it out
it's a
here.
pretty cool tool. It also, it basically can use the Google Sheet as
Yeah.
directions as to where you want to send it and what you want to do. But the other thing is you can also take that same Zero Work and take data down from the website and put it back into the Google Sheet. So if you had a whole list of URLs and you wanted to do an automated audit on them and check to see how many reviews they had or whatever, you literally could write the thing in 5 minutes with Zero Work.
There it is, right there. Zero Work.
Yeah, it's sharp, and it has.
You like that better than? I mean, it sounds like it's probably a little bit different.
It's
More of a specialty versus kind of Make, right?
It's easier, in my opinion, than Make,
Ah,
but it's very good for us
yeah.
in internet marketing because we deal with lots of lists of URLs or keywords or whatever. I mean,
Right.
I had this program for an hour and I already had a couple of bots written. And I mean, low hanging fruit, like say you had a whole list of cities and you wanted to know which one was the most competitive for personal injury. You throw them into a Google Sheet, you tell it to grab the counts at Google.
Yeah.
1 second, it comes back and your sheet is populated with all the data. It's pretty neat.
Wow. That.
Yeah, it's sharp, and it has a sentiment detection built in. So say you grab up a whole bunch of people's reviews. Instead of grabbing the content of the review or judging the review based on the stars, it can actually tell you whether the text of the review is positive, negative, cheerful, professional, friendly. Yeah, it's pretty neat. Yeah, it's a cool tool.
Nice.
Yeah, so you were saying
I'm gonna play with that.
You were saying originally that you liked some of the reputation management stuff that we do.
Well, before you jump into that, yes. So, you were doing. I still want to kind of drive on this thing. So, are you using a lot of Make as well? I just came away from SEO Rockstars a week ago, and I'm a big fan of this guy, Dan Kurtz.
He's a Make champion.
Dan is just a wizard at make.com, and he was just doing some amazing things that he was showing us. And that was a big kind of general theme going across the conference. A lot of folks doing presentations and talking about how they're utilizing automation. Certainly utilizing AI, whether it is in content generation across all kinds of modalities, whether it's text or like nobody was doing music like what you just did with the Sono, but in video, really was a lot of text and video kinds of things, and then utilizing it in automation, like such as Make. Um, what are some applications that you have been kind of implementing in your world? Before we get, I do want to dive into your your whole concept on reputation management. But before we get there, am very curious on some of the stuff you're doing with automation
Mm-hmm.
in your
Yeah, give me 1 sec.
agency, in your world.
Yeah, so one of the biggest things that we're working on with automation, and this is one of the hottest possibilities out there, and we're still testing,
Yeah.
is we're working with 2 telephony tools for automation.
Okay.
So we're working with Vappy and Bland. So
Yeah, this is why I love talking with people. You guys, because you guys like find tools that I'm like, what the hell? What was it? Vappy?
when you hear what these tools do, your head's gonna explode.
Is that what you said? Vappy?
Yeah,
How do you spell that? I'm trying to find it.
VAPI.
VAPI. All right.
Yeah.
VAPI. All right. Let me go find it. Here it is. Vappy.
I'll explain it.
Yeah. Give it up, man.
So, Vappy and Bland both have the ability to take a CSV file. So, say you run BotSol or Managementware or Lead Kahuna, and you say, I want all the lawyers in a certain area, right? Once you get the actual name, address, city, state, zip, you can put it through a second tool like Lead Kahuna, and it'll tell you all the metrics, how many reviews they have, how many, what's their average reviews, is their site responsive, is their site SSL, whatever, basic tests, and then you have a big spreadsheet, right? You can take that spreadsheet, the CSV file, and you can put it through Vappy or Bland. And
Bland.
Bland is the big daddy to. I'm sorry, it's the other way around. Bland is the more amateur novice type tool. It's easier to get into. Vappy's a little trickier, but basically what they're able to do is they can automate phone calls based on the data in the spreadsheet, and it uses picture perfect, voices and everything. And the nice thing about that is, while you do have the people that sell, Google service, Google related SEO services with the, robo dialers and the,
Right.
they have no data. The thing that we're planning on doing is leading with data. So instead of you receiving a call saying, hey, we're Google, we can help you, press 1 to verify your listing.
Right.
We can call you and say, hey, are you Randy the news guy? Gary, are you Randy the news guy? Yeah, we have your listing here. Yeah, at this address, you have a 4.9 rating. You're listed as a news publisher. You have 4 pictures in your account, blah, blah. Yeah, we can do things. You have 14 reviews. We can do things that can help you. Are you interested in talking to a consultant that can sit down with you and lay out a plan with you? The wild thing is, not only can it tell that information and speak it perfectly, but it can get the data back, so it can mark a file, the spreadsheet, and say, yes, this person is interested in speaking with a consultant. Then a consultant can review the data
Yeah.
and they
Yeah.
can actually reach out to them and say, hey, I'm the consultant that, the AI spoke about.
Right.
So we're leading with data and building trust with the potential prospect by leading with that data instead of saying, hey, we're just great SEOs. No, we have the actual data here, and we have some information that, because you have less than this many reviews, we can, recommend that you do this, and,
Mhm.
other recommendations.
Yeah. Yeah. I have to tell you again, this is why I love talking with guys like you, because you've like squirreled away and gotten down into all of these great little nuggets of
Yeah.
software applications that are out there. Like I've never heard of, I don't know that I think I've heard of Lead Kahuna, but I've never heard of these two, Vappy and Bland. I mean, that is awesome. So anyway, they're in the links, folks. If you want to go check those things out.
Yeah, I did a nice presentation on automation in DC,
Yeah.
Rayburn's event in DC.
Yeah. I didn't make that one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was a good event, and
H-
yeah,
How do
my
you
whole
fit? So let me ask you this, kind of the mad professor. Let me get, kind of crack open the skull here, the mad professor. How do you figure out? So, like this thing that you just, kind of laid out for us, right? Where you're like, well, you go and you scrape the data, and then I can go into Lead Kahuna, and then I can use something like Vappy, you know, how did you begin to put together like that sequence? Did you start like, here's the problem, let me figure out how I would create a solution, meaning what tools we would use to go do this, and then go try to automate it? How do you approach, I guess, this kind of
I mean, there
automation?
isn't a lot of automation in actually building up to doing a project like that. I mean, executing it is automated, but actually building it,
Yeah.
like putting together the data for that project, there's not a lot that's automated in that
Mm,
respect. But once you actually have the CSV file ready to go
yeah.
and you make the phone calls, it blasts away at the phone calls. And the
Yeah.
funny thing is, they're, I guess you'd call it like multi-streamed or multi-socketed or whatever. So when they're a huge service, both of
Yeah.
those telephony services. So while you're saying, oh, you know what, 10-minute phone call and I'm making 30 of them, it's going to take at least 300 minutes. No, they're multi-socketed. They do them all at one time.
Blow them out.
Done.
Yeah. So, which is amazing.
Yeah.
Like back. My question though is, how do you approach creating these multi-stepped, sequenced
You
solutions?
hear
I
from
guess.
people the name of a tool,
Yeah.
and then you like Lead Kahuna.
Right.
Then you figure out where it fits in the mix. Obviously, it's a great way to get a beginning prospect list, and then you have
Yeah.
to whittle it down, and then those are the people that you actually contact. And then, I do go through, there's a lot of YouTubers that I watch
Yeah.
that, I keep an eye out for. And then, the recommendations based on the videos that I watch,
Yeah.
you see other recommendations for people starting to mess with CSV files and telephony, and
Yeah.
you're off to the
And
races.
then all of a sudden you're like, the wheels are spinning as Merlino in the house, big brain James. I tried, that was my Merlino impression. See if I could get that. Hopefully I did you good, Michael. Um, but then that's interesting. So once you see a tool, then the wheels start churning and going like, how could I apply this? This is an interesting tool. Who do you listen to? So you said, but I love the man is so busy. He's taking calls. He's like, yeah, okay, I got business, man. I got.
That one I gotta take.
Who do you listen to? So you said you listen to and watch some, various YouTubers, like
Yeah.
folks
I
that
mean,
kind of help you get kind of geared up, that kind of inspire you in thinking about solutions and shit.
yeah. I mean, there's certain people that I follow for Vappy and Bland. There's people that I follow for Zero Work. There's some make people that are really good. There's some great. If you're going to go all in right now on any sort of automation, I'd probably say that it's safe to go into Make, and there is great training out there for Make. So definitely make sure that you do the ooh.
I know you did. You were like, 1 second. You were like, hold my beer, Randy. Hold on.
Yeah, that was a zinger of a quick call. Big client,
Hey, JP, man, good to see you, brother.
Big client. So, yeah, there's some really good make training out there. So definitely do your research before you latch on to anything make automation training related. But yeah, and then that Zero Work tool was actually made by a young woman overseas, I believe, and she does her own videos on the Zero Work channel. They're awesome.
Really?
Oh, Zero Work. When you get into Zero Work, watch a couple of my videos on my YouTube channel. It has a couple of features in it that are really, really exceptional.
I'm going to dig into Zero Work. I'm intrigued by it.
It had. I'll tell you real quick 2 things that it does that are really nice. You'll see that I have a video if you want to get more information on it on my YouTube channel. But basically, one of the hardest things to do is telling an automation where to click.
Yeah.
And going through the inspect elements and all that junk on the web.
Right.
You don't have to do that with this.
Don't have to do that.
This has a built-in right click, and it automatically captures exactly where you want the automation to click.
Oh,
That's
man.
number one. And the other thing is, for any sites that require logins, it allows you to basically download the cookie from that login. And they have a really cool demonstration on that using LinkedIn. So yeah, you get more when you're logged in than if you're not logged in. So you actually, from your browser, you download the cookie from your login, and then you go back into Zero Work. You pop that into Zero Work, and it goes in like it's logged in as you.
Wow.
Man.
That is nice. That's so funny you mentioned about kind of clicking and automations and processes in that with clicking and what have you. And I just, all of a sudden I flashed back to a tool that we used to use, and I don't use it anymore, called Zenoposter.
Oh yeah, sure.
Oh man, that was
tough program to work with.
Yes, it was. That thing was like, and I think that's probably, that tool probably ruined me for wanting to spend much time with some of these other automation kind of tools like Zero, because that tool was like, God, this was driving me crazy.
And their runner, their sidecar runner thing for apps, and that left something to be desired.
Oh man,
so,
that was hard.
Mess around with that. What else is going on?
Hold on, man. So listen, folks, if you got questions, you've got the man right here, James Slattery. Ask him any questions on automation. He's probably has played around with tools and created some solutions. So throw up the questions in the comments. James, I'm going to hit you up now, though. People can still put your questions in. Reputation management. We were at Legit Live, and as I said early on, I think that was the first time that I got to see you present. I've been aware. You and I have chatted, from time to time. Prior to that, I remember some conversations, I don't know, a year or so ago about Awesome Traffic Bot Pro, and but I was really intrigued. I'm like, you were one of the people I'm like, I'm going to Legit Live. Even I would have gone anyway, even if I wasn't presenting, because I'm like, oh, I want to hear James, man. I've never had a chance to hear James. I've seen great stuff from him. So this is going to be good. You presented on reputation management, and you like approached it in not necessarily a cutting edge way, but you approached it in a way that made it seem like that is a viable service for almost any agency just to pick it up and run with it. And I don't know if you want to get into or how deep you'd want to even kind of talk about it a little bit, but man, I have to tell you, and Merlina was there at the conference as well. I just have to give you props, man. That was good stuff you were sharing. That was solid nuggets.
Yeah. So when we talk about reputation management, we're normally talking about personal reputation management,
Yeah,
meaning, someone gets arrested and they're a notable person and it's going to cost business. The fact that the news story comes up when you search their name, etc., stifling that by, putting things that rank higher than it, creating properties, ranking them in the story, you know.
right, right.
Um, and we do quite a few of them. For some reason, uh, we have a couple of connections that get us, like actors in New York and whatnot that get problematic, and things are published about them that they don't want out there, so they stifle it by putting up more properties.
Yeah,
And my presentation was basically not an automation, but a way to do it in a fashion that it's not a big problem and it's not a
yeah.
big project, and there's not a lot of moving pieces. It's a couple of order placements, outsourcing it, and outsourcing it so that it's done the same way you would do it yourself or
Yeah,
better.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you laid it out. It was a process. I mean, it was a full like, all right, do this A, B, C, D, E, boom. Here was the process. So we were talking earlier about, standard operating procedures, right? SOPs. And
Mhm.
you essentially had just laid out kind of the SOP for reputation management, how you create the solution. That's why I loved what you presented, because it was not this nebulous, like, well, we're going to kind of, and we want to do this. I've seen that before. I've heard people, kind of present that before, but you presented it in a way that was like, do these steps, and then let it ride. And it worked. And,
Yeah.
it was like, wow. And then in my mind, I walked away from there like, why the hell are we not doing reputation management? Um, but it'd be a little deviation of what it is that we're kind of doing a little bit. But there's some cross, certainly using our PRs to help in that process. But I really like the way that you laid it out. And I don't know if do you have any presentation like that you've done on your YouTube channel or not?
Yeah.
Oh, you do. Okay,
Yeah.
good,
Yeah.
good. Well,
There's a rep management video on my channel. It's probably been there 2, 3 years.
yeah, yeah. Oh, that's good.
I highly
Good
recommend that
stuff.
people go onto my YouTube channel, only because a lot of them approach me and ask me questions, and there's a 15-minute video sitting on my YouTube channel to answer it.
That's all about it. Like,
I
hey,
mean,
did you see my YouTube channel? Here's a video for it. Pamela's got a great question here. So, your strategy around reputation management, can you take that same approach in order to leverage knowledge panel?
of course, of course.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, basically, we're utilizing outsourced gigs to create a foundation layer. And your foundation layer, instead of being someone's name, is just going to be a brand.
Right.
And the only tricky part there is, you want to place an order like that as early in the game as possible. And if it's an existing brand that has a whole bunch of stuff out there already, now you have to nitpick and figure out, what am I not going to have the gig provider provide, because it would be
Right. Right.
duplicated. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the sooner you do that, the better.
Yeah.
Have them register all of them.
Yeah. Well, again, the reputation management I thought was very solid, and because I would think for you, excuse me, um, you're working with certain industries like lawyers, as an example. I would imagine that they probably run into all types of clients that they would have a need to kind of push things down, get off of the
Don't
first
sleep
page of
on construction.
yes, get off the first page
Don't
of
sleep on
Google.
construction. They create plenty of problems too.
Yes. So, yeah, I think anybody who's working in certain niches, think about, other businesses that are working with clients who potentially, could get a bad reputation one way or the other. Stuff
Yeah.
might show up on first page of Google. Those would be some clients that you would be like, I can help your clients. And you help another business be a rock star for their clients. I think that's always a good
Yeah,
business.
I mean, there's a lot of, when I did my presentation, I said that there's a lot of scope creeping, meaning,
Yeah. Yeah.
people trying to get more than what they paid for, etc. The regular client stuff, but what if I type this? You have to hammer that stuff down big time.
Right.
Otherwise, you're going to have problems. And, yeah, I mean, it's worthwhile. And, in my opinion, um, it's a different type of money, meaning you have your, SEO clients that you do GMB and organic for, but they're paying on a monthly basis. Now you get this one reputation management client that you're getting 20 grand from. Now that's a lump sum.
Right.
And, in my opinion, it's nice to have nice different revenue streams, but also different types of revenue streams.
Right. Well,
Ease the gears.
yeah, I'm a big fan of having multiple revenue streams. I mean, that's why we got into doing press releases was, we have our SEO agency, but I'm like, what are some of the other things that we could do that we could serve kind of back to the concept of here are other businesses. How can I serve other businesses and make them a rock star with their clients? And press releases I kind of landed on that as an opportunity. But yeah, I think that's great. So are talking as well. And before we went live, this is kind of going to dovetail into this a little bit, which was about SEO sales. So I get a sense maybe you've created some new material thoughts around SEO sales. Love to hear what you got cooking.
All right. So on SEO sales, one of the newest things that we're doing is it's kind of like codenamed inside my business. It's called Side Hustle. And basically, we are recruiting eager people who want to make more money. And we are educating them as to doing the early stages of I'm sorry, my phone's blowing up. The early stages of prospecting for SEO clients.
Okay.
So we are having them log in at a portal that we watch, and we put videos on there, and the videos would be like prospecting GMB. Okay. So, if you're prospecting GMB, you'd want to keep track of how many total reviews, how many, what's their average review count? Do they have reviews with photos? How many images do they have in there? How many posts and how frequently are they posting? Like kinds of things that they would look at, so that we're bringing them from the ground up to being able to figure out. And, the other thing that is big in that training, so we train these people to be prospectors, beginning salespeople, and then I actually do most of the in-person sales myself. So they're almost like appointment setters, table setters, whatever. And they're prospecting through either lists that I give them or lists that I recommend. They can log into one of our remote servers and pull a list that they want. They want all the lawyers in a certain county. They go and they grab it, and then they start working through the list. some of our tools are automated, so it'll automatically grab some of those metrics that they need. But basically what I want them to start doing is start, as a part of my business, contacting these prospects and say, hey, you know what? These specific things I know are wrong. That's something that my company can do, and we can further the story and make you popular on the internet and get you the visibility that you deserve, so that you can
Right.
continue to prosper. So yeah, we've been putting a lot on there, and some of the videos that have come out on that, it's a shame that they're like internal only, because some of them have come out really good. We have one where we're literally educating and going through prospecting through lists of URLs. I don't know if you've ever used, or have you ever used like a multi URL loader? Like I use one called Open List, and basically it's just a drop down from the top of the screen extension, and you plaster 40 URLs in there, it opens up them, right?
Yeah, I use one. I don't know what it's called, but it's open multiple URLs is
Yeah.
an extension. Yeah.
Similar. So we show them how to add that to their machine. We show them how to add a bunch of things to their machine, little bookmarklets that they can click, go to the home page of a prospect and see if they have schema. They press one button and they know. So we're hyper focused for that sales team to train them at the lowest level and build a really solid foundation for them to be educated as far as, looking at websites. Do the internal pages have links? Do I see internal links? Do I see, hyperlinking internally? A lot of things like that. But I'm not trying to turn them into SEOs. I'm trying to turn them into SEO prospectors.
Prospectors, yeah.
Yeah.
So are these folks then that you're just doing for your own sales, own agency growth and turning them loose, or are you doing this as, like I get smashed all the time for like, let us turn your business. We can give you X number of leads and blah, blah, blah. I didn't know if you were kind of building your own force to go out and do generate leads for others.
All in this area, all for us internally.
Mm-hmm. Good success for you?
It's not successful yet because we're still training people and still bringing them along, but the process is moving along.
Yeah.
Yep.
Dude, I love your honesty. I'm like, you could have like just blew a whole.
Oh yeah, we're making billions.
You're like, oh, we're making all kinds of money, and you're like, it's not successful yet. We're building it. I'm like, God, that's
no, we're working towards that. It's not, and nobody in there. It's not mission critical, but it is worthwhile to get it right. So we're taking our time and getting it right.
Nice.
I
like that. I'm gonna, again, give you great credibility here, because in the various kinds of things that you've just described, on our show here, or where I've seen you speak, you really talk about processes and the value of processes in your business. I don't know what's going on, James. You're like,
sorry.
You got to get that focus. Yeah, here we are.
I don't know if we're gonna get refocused.
There we go. But you really drive on processes, though, don't you? You like create an operating procedure, a standard, and that's how you drive some good success, I think.
Yeah. Plus, we're big into like, even if we're not selling them to other agencies as services, we're kind of turning every part of our SEO process into a service. And then we do have it laid out that some of our services are beginning game, mid game, end game services. The other thing is we have that service list when we meet with clients, because we meet with 99% of our clients face to face. So we do have that list of services, and it's an impressive list. And we blow up the ones that we want to discuss. So if we want to discuss, more at length press releases or batch geo or automated link building, we'll blow them up on the list. And when we're sitting with the client, we'll go, oh yeah, we do automated link building, we do press releases, we do this. And we can tell them, or whatever we do for reviews, maybe we'll make them a review generation card so that they can hand them out to clients to get more reviews or whatnot. But we do try to make a service list out of all of our services.
Nice. I want to ask you about, only because you just did this great video, SEOneo. And I generally don't kind of drill into one particular tool, but only because I'm kind of building out and thinking of some different applications with SEOneo. There's a bunch of these tools out there, RankerX, Money Robot, SEOneo. Elias has done a really nice job. He was at Rockstars a week ago. Really nice job with updating and pulling together a nice product with SEOneo. What kind of things are you doing with SEOneo in your operations?
Oh boy, we send SEOneo after everything. I mean, we do a press release, we utilize Neo. We do anything, batch geo, either gets embedded or it gets, linked to. So basically any properties that are in play, anything that's on tier 1, you name it, we use SEOneo on it. And we obviously, just like everybody else, we weren't early beta testers of SEOneo, so we're testing it the same way everybody else is, at the same time frame. And we are having good results so far with the GBP stuff for Neo. So that's working out well.
Yeah, that's what I'm kind of curious about as well. We've been playing around with a few different things, specifically around Brian Cato and I are GMB forever, with GMB stuff. And I was very intrigued with the wizards, the GBP wizards, and the things that he's doing in SEOneo. Have you seen some good success with those?
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. I just did one for one of my clients as a test for that video. And it ran overnight, the project. And at the beginning of the project, their average score was 10. In the middle of the project, it was 7. And then at the end of the project, it was 4. So creeping up to the 3-pack in.
And like in that video, I mean, you're saying end of the project. I mean, it was fairly quick. I mean, with 24 hours or something like that,
There's
right?
a lot of nice features in that tool. They've done a lot of good things. Some of the interface is it's so intuitive to be able to go in under a keyword and see all the geogrids for that keyword. I don't know that it would replace my GeoGrid tool of choice, but for GeoGrids. But as far as being handy and utilizing it with the link building portion of SEOneo, it's awesome. What else was? By the way, one thing I did want to mention regarding SEO Rockstars is that I was supposed to be at Rockstars. I was not able to make it. Health conditions precluded me from getting there. I did my presentation, so make sure that you get my presentation.
They just distributed out the recordings and the way that they did it. I'm going to pull it up and see if they included your. I gotta go find it here. Where the heck is it?
They don't have the recording of my presentation. They have the actual presentation.
Well, that's what I'm wondering, if they actually have the. Come on, SEO Rockstars. I'm gonna see if it's sitting there in the. They just put the thing out. I can't find it. I'll look and see.
How many screens
I
you
just
got?
got,
How many screens you got over there? I see you.
yeah,
looking in-
I've got like 4 screens going on over here. Yeah.
I just saw you looking northeast and seeing another screen.
I do. I like having a lot of screens. Yeah, that's pretty good. Well, that's too bad that you couldn't have made it. We had a good. It was a
Yeah,
good
I
conference.
heard it was excellent.
I've been going to SEO Rockstars. I think this is my 5th one, and this was one of the best ones, I think, probably, that I've gone to as far as like content presentations. Like the information that was given was like, wow. I mean, I was just furiously taking notes, and just as a matter of fact, just the other night, I was like going through my notes and pulling together my action list of like stuff that I got to do, like follow up on, from the various presentations. It was like, yeah, that was good. That's why I love going to conferences. So, you see great speakers, and it's like having the conversation with you. You hear things like, "Whoa, that is sick. I got to figure out how. Let me go look at that and, um, and figure out how I can implement it in some of the stuff that we're doing or that we're trying to chase anyway." Yeah, nice. What the heck? Oh, so we
There's
talked
some
automations. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
there's some great stuff in that presentation from Vegas. So definitely, if you have access to that presentation, I highly
Go
recommend it.
dig in. Go dig in. All right, I'm gonna
Yeah.
do it. Let's kind of change the gear to link building strategies. So
Okay.
we've talked a little bit about SEOneo, right? So
Yeah.
you're doing some automated link building. Anything else you want to
So
throw out?
The Vegas presentation was called Creative Link Building,
Oh shit! So now I'm gonna like now I got to go find this thing. I'm gonna be like, what? Yeah. All right.
and yeah, it was a fun presentation. Themed around casino stuff and yeah. Um,
Yeah. Yeah.
you know what's interesting?
Yeah.
And it was like the opener for that presentation is one of the first things that really made me think about how deep people think and work into domains and link building and everything.
Yeah.
And the first thing that really I don't know. I mean, I've been doing SEO for a long time, but like the first time that like real domain-earing, that word domain-earing got big was when PokerStars.net started, and there are others, WSOP and all these others that were
Yeah.
doing all of their gambling sites on the web, and they were always .net when they would advertise on TV. And then when I did research, I realized that's like their educational site,
Right.
and the .com is the real gambling site. And they don't promote the .net. They don't promote the .com on TV because
Right.
it's gambling.
Well, I was gonna say I don't know if they could at that time,
But
especially.
just think about how much, like talking about branding, people
Yeah.
are jumping domains
Yeah.
for this.
Yeah.
Like they're literally jumping from the, PokerStars.net to PokerStars.com to do real gambling, or, I don't even know how they're set up. I'm assuming that's how it's set up.
Yeah.
But, that was kind of the intro to my presentation. Then I kind of went through a whole bunch of different interesting methods of automating link building,
Yeah.
and yeah, worthwhile. Some of the things that we do to mess around with Black Hat SEO.
Yeah. I will tell you, you want to learn where you can get some interesting links. Go do a link profile, go do some research, link profile researches on gambling sites, because those guys, are limited on what they can do on like good what you would think good typical tier 1 sites. So they like figure out other kinds of sites that give good link juice, that they can get listed on, that are not nearly as controlled in the sense of decency or standards or something, that are going to bristle about gambling, right? But yeah, we've been kind of playing around. Actually, I have one of my folks on our team that's just going in and doing some research on some gambling sites and digging up all kinds of great nuggets of sites that we could go utilize for our own clients. Good, yeah, good stuff.
Yeah, it's similar, in the same vein, that obviously the gambling guys are out there in force getting links and, following their, lead is often worthwhile. The same thing goes for like launch jacking. So, going to Warrior Plus or JVZoo or ClickBank or any of those places, finding an interesting offer and then seeing who's promoting that offer and where. Because that's actually part of my presentation from Vegas. Is these guys, for every product that comes out on JVZoo, etc., they have a review page out there in hours, ranked high. In hours, always in organic.
Yeah.
So those guys are definitely worth following. So yeah, I follow, and I have a little system for following and seeing what's worthwhile. So, I mean, that's another, that'd be another worthwhile thing to do with like zero work, is if you want to find, worthwhile link targets, you could put in 25 products that are on JVZoo or ClickBank or whatnot, and have it do Google searches and just return to me the domains where those, review pages are. And they're going to be like Medium and LinkedIn and Pinterest, Quora, Reddit, whatever. Just create a whole spreadsheet straight across, say, these are the products. And then below it, tell me, what came up number one, and then do some sort of analysis to say, okay, right now, Reddit's the hottest thing out there.
Yeah. I could have told you that without doing all that other work. Which kind of leads, as you were kind of mentioning some of that stuff, I was going to ask you, are you doing anything on some of these, social, those good, strong Web2 type sites, and I'll call Reddit that, but, either Reddit platform, are you playing around with Reddit?
Like parasite type stuff?
Yeah. You doing some work with that?
Of course. Yeah, I mean, we do a lot with Reddit. There's a couple of really neat things that you can learn, to further your, education in Reddit. I definitely recommend. Have you ever seen that gummy search? Oh yeah. If you do anything with Reddit, gummy search is really good. That's a good one. It tells you where your audience is. So say you go into Reddit and it's just Reddit's everywhere, right?
Yeah.
You just type in SEO and it'll tell you, oh, your audience is in SEO, big SEO, internet marketing, and blah, blah. And they actually gauge the sentiment of the groups and everything and how many people are in each group. It's very good. Tells you where to post, basically.
Gummy search. I'm checking this out. Huh. Interesting.
I think if you go to their homepage, if you go to their homepage, you can automatically see that it's starting to light up all of the different.
Yeah. Well, this kind of drives me nuts. They put this thing on here. I'm like, yeah. Goldmine. I've never even heard of this.
This thing is cool. Man, it's really neat.
Nice.
Real neat. Yeah, you can learn a lot from that. But yeah, we do a lot of parasites. We do a lot with, stuff like Reddit, etc. Building it, making it rank, and then keeping it up there.
Wow. Sounds cool. All
never
right.
ends. Never ends.
Never ends.
I
So
do.
where am I going to see you next? So you're saying, I missed you at Rockstars, unfortunately. Are you going to show up
Not
SEO
sure.
spring
Not sure.
training?
My next engagement is not in person. It is virtual. I am on Navneet's channel
Okay.
in December, so
All right.
that'll be where you can see me next.
All
So
right. Very good.
hopefully, I brought some worthwhile things for people to look into and check
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Well, always a good education for me. Yeah, I love talking with you, James. Appreciate you being on the channel. Hey, folks, next week, join me live. We're going to do a Black Friday review we're putting up a page on our site. Got a bunch of different Black Friday offers from around the web, friends and SaaS and all different kinds of products. So we're going to launch that and do a review of that on our show. Plus, we're going to do our Black Friday reveal that we're doing for our services as well. So be very good. Look for that stuff. And yeah, man, James, thank you so much for being on the show. Always fun talking with you, and always a great learning experience.
Good stuff. Thank you for having me. Have a great
All
day.
right, man.
Take care.
All right, folks. Like, subscribe, follow. We'll see you next week. And again, thanks for joining us. All right.